The VBS Scandal. We are now joined by reporter Hitekani Magwedze, who is outside a VBS branch in Thohoyandou in Limpopo. Good afternoon to you, Hitekani. Thank you so much indeed for joining us. Any activity at the bank now?
Well, good afternoon and good afternoon to our viewers. There is some activity. I'll just ask my camera person to pan and show you. There's quite a lot of activity going to our right there. There's a trailer and a buggy that's just come in that is bringing, these are boxes of files, equipment. I see generators, I see TVs. Earlier on there were computers and servers and a number of other equipment that we're told by some of the retrenched workers that these are things that are coming from the SABC branch of VBS. You'd know that there are quite a number of branches of VBS that have now subsequently been closed, and of course 100 workers have now been retrenched. We spoke to some of the workers who were saying that they had been unhappy with the severance packages that they had been given, and they'd been fighting for better packages in terms of the amount that they were given for payment of the termination of their employment. This has been since they received those retrenchments since Friday. Now they've been complaining and fighting with the union SASBU for better payment, and on Monday some of the notice payment, I believe about 84 of them got revised and included a 13th check, but they felt this was still not enough, and today they had that meeting with VBS Human Resources Management and the curator to try and clear out some of their queries, but we do understand that there hasn't been change made on the notice payments, and some of them have capitulated. We saw some of the workers coming out of the bank's doors with their hands and their heads hanging low, showing disappointment. We understand that there's a group of them that has now capitulated and decided to sign those papers, saying that it seems no one is fighting for them, no one is supporting them, and it seems they are going to bear the heavier brand in terms of the punishment of the VBS scandals that had been taking place, Balisa.
And we've seen and heard a number of political parties, individuals, and of course organizations calling for the bank to be saved. The latest is the South African Council of Churches, who say the bank has to be saved for the sake of its employees and of course its clients. But surely, Hitekani, that is not the case, because now you're saying that retrenchments are going ahead and branches have closed down.
It's a really sad situation. It kind of feels like a funeral, really, Palisa, the way things are going this side. People are quite sad about the fact that the branches are actually closing, and the final nail on the coffin is being nailed in, and it's clear. I mean, when you start seeing boxes and equipment being moved around, and employees being retrenched, and them signing papers, it starts sinking in for the workers, and that's why we saw a lot of them coming out with their heads hanging low. I mean, during the week and last week, we were speaking to some of them, and although they were sad at the prospects of being retrenched, they were quite hopeful that someone or some government entity would come and intervene and come to their aid. But when they start signing papers, when they start seeing trailers and such things happening, the reality starts sinking in, and the call for the bank to be saved is still reiterated by the workers, and some of the community members here saying that this is a bank that they saw grow up from just community involvement to an organization that could be taken seriously, and they feel that it's important for their legacies and for their children's children to continue banking here for it to be safe, Palisa.
Yeah, Hitekani, just a quick one on this one. We understand that the ANC Limpopo Treasurer Denim Caesar has released a statement saying that there is not even, evidence pointing to him in this report. Have you been able to establish that?
We haven't been able to establish that, but it's a sentiment that he's been making since the Great Bank Heist report came out. You'd remember that he had given Advocate Termutao just until Monday to reverse that linkage between him and the scandals at VBS, saying that he had nothing to do with it. We haven't heard anything from him as yet in terms of further defending himself. Also, we haven't heard anything from him in terms of the repercussions that, the legal expected repercussions that he'd be taking against Advocate Termutao.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much there to our reporter Hitekani Magwedze, who joins us live from VBS Bank in Thohoyandou in the Limpopo.